And welcome back to our one-on-one candidate interviews as we meet the candidates up to September 14 for our local Clarence Valley Council elections. It's pleased to welcome right now Ray Smith, who's one of our candidates. Ray, good morning.
Good morning, Damien.
Thank you for your time this morning.
Pleasure.
You're no stranger to the Clarence Valley. You're a former General Manager of Grafton City Council many years ago.
Yeah, that's right. When we first moved to Grafton, December 92, I took up the position of General Manager, Grafton City Council. And a little bit of trivia, I'm the only General Manager of Grafton City Council because before I started was prior to the Local Government Act, and it was the Town Clerk.
Wow.
So I became the General Manager, and I was General Manager up until the election, the amalgamations.
And that was in
2004.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And so you spent a little bit of time as the General Manager of Clarence Valley Council.
Yes.
But then you went on to, I suppose, bigger and better things?
Yeah, well, I was unsuccessful getting the position back in the new council, and I wanted to continue my career in local government. I was still young, still am.
Of course.
And I spent 5 years as General Manager at Cobar Shire Council, and then 12 years as General Manager at Bland Shire, which is down in West Wyalong in the Riverina.
Okay, so you've spent time away from the Clarence Valley, but what's brought you back?
Retirement, retired in 2022, moved back here with my wife Donna. We'd kept our house that we'd purchased in 93. Our 4 children grew up here, went to school here, and we call it home, and we're very happy to be back.
So why have you decided to put your hand up for the election on September 14?
Well, a couple of reasons, Damien. I guess the most important one, I still have a strong desire to serve the community. When I first came to Grafton, I got involved immediately in the community. I became chairman of the Clarence Valley Life Education Unit, and I held that for 10 years. I coached junior soccer for 5 years. I was a member of the St Mary's Parish Finance Council. At the moment, I'm also a volunteer for the Disabled Surfers Association. So I just enjoy giving back, and I get a kick out of seeing people sort of benefit from the little things that I can do.
And not to forget, you've just taken on the role as President of Midday Rotary.
President of Midday Rotary, yeah, I've been a Rotarian for 30 years. Joined here in 93 when I first came to Grafton. But when I went to Cobar, I joined the Cobar Rotary Club, became president there. And then in West Wyalong, became president of the West Wyalong Rotary Club. Yeah, so I just have that passion to sort of do things for the community.
Given your experience in local government, you would have seen a lot of changes. Have you been keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak?
I certainly have, yeah. Well, the 50 years in local government, I've seen huge changes, particularly the big change with the Local Government Act 1993 that saw a real division between the General Manager and the Mayor and the councillors. The Code of Conduct, of course, kept councillors from talking to staff, whereas in the old days you could have that chat and nobody was concerned. But
wow.
Now it's a real issue.
Is that a good thing that councillors can't talk to staff, or do you think there should be that open communication a bit more?
Well, I think there should be more open communication as long as the councillors aren't directing the staff. Sure. That was the main issue. I can't see any issue with a councillor having a chinwag with a member of staff, as long as they're not directing them to do something on their on their behalf.
Yeah, and given your experience, I suppose, with other councils as well, what experience will you bring to the Clarence Valley Council if you're elected?
Well, I think in total I've attended and participated in well over 300 council meetings. So I have a sound knowledge of the local government legislation, code of meeting practice. I've seen firsthand how some councils can sort of fall apart when there's factions and personal differences take control over good decision making. So I guess it's that experience and my knowledge of procedures and all the regulations. Like I know for a fact a local council is affected by well over 100 other pieces of legislation, and that makes it puts confinements on the council that the public probably aren't aware of. And quite often you'll hear someone complain about the council, but more often than not, it's a state government legislative requirement that the council has to implement.
And tell me, in regards to, I suppose, when did you make the decision to run for council? When was it that sort of ticked the box saying, yeah, I'm going to run on September 14?
Yeah, I guess we got back in time to hear the debate and the concern in the community about the Regional Aquatic Centre, which was a huge issue at the time. And I attended a number of council meetings. I guess my disappointment was just that there seemed to be a focus on personal issues rather than the big picture. And I thought, no, I think I've still got something to offer. I think with my experience and my desire to serve the community, I think I could be a good influence if I was elected to council.
You have attended quite a few council meetings in recent
recent
months.
time, most certainly.
So what are your thoughts of the, I suppose, behaviour in one sense of the word, especially that particular meeting that you're talking about in September last year?
Yeah. Well, again, it's personal differences should be left at the door of the chamber. If you're on council, you're there to do a job for the community. Seeing people vote against something because someone else voted for it and they don't like them, that impedes good decision making and is not beneficial for the future of the valley.
What are some of the key issues that you're, I suppose, taking to the table on September 14 that you want to sort of take to council should you be elected?
Well, certainly to get some harmony in council, have them working as a team. As a councillor, I can influence that, I'm sure. I think infrastructure, making sure we've got a sufficient water supply for future population growth. I know sustainable development's a big issue in the valley, particularly down on the floodplain. I can't make any promises other than I will do my best, because my experience tells me if I get elected, I'm going to be one of 9 people. And if the other 8 people don't share my vision, then it's very difficult to achieve anything. So I can't make a promise that I can't guarantee I can keep, other than, if elected, I will certainly do my best for the valley.
I guess rate rises and rate pegging and so forth are big issues, and they certainly were at the last election. Would you support a SRV? Yeah,
well, I saw that question and I said I couldn't guarantee that I wouldn't support it. I guess if I get on, I need to look at the council's financial position at that point in time, what the special rate variation, what the purposes of it is, where the money is going to go. Do we need it, or can we cut back in services somewhere to avoid that increase in rates? Because I'm well aware of the cost of living issues that are facing everyone at the moment.
We see the list of names, the 17 councillors candidates, I should say, that are running for 9 positions. Some experience there, former councillors.
Yep.
Obviously, yourself being a former general manager, a former actual worker, a director, and also some current councillors that are rerunning.
Yes.
Do you think you could work with any of those names that are on the ballot paper?
I think so. I'm a flexible sort of person, and I'm a people person. I guess the challenge would be if there's candidates that are elected that already have a conflict, and I know there are some, the challenge would be to put that conflict aside and just make decisions based on the better good of the valley.
You've led hundreds of staff under your, obviously being general manager of several councils. Will you be putting your hand up to run as mayor at the first meeting should you be elected on September 14?
I've been asked that question, I've thought about it, and my response is I'll see how I go in the polling. I think if I poll well enough, I would put my hand up, because I believe I've got the experience and the knowledge to be an effective mayor, and I'm really conscious of the importance of having a really good working relationship with the general manager. I've been on the other side of that for the last 30 years, and I know the importance that if the council's going to run smoothly, the mayor and GM have to get on well. There has to be honesty and integrity in everything that you do.
Should it be should the mayor be elected by the fellow councillors or by the people of the Clarence Valley, do you think?
Another good question. Again, going on experience, I've seen a popularly elected mayor who is then in for the 4-year term and was not popular with the other elected councillors, and there was nothing they could do to vote that person out, and there was conflict for a 4-year term. I guess with the councillors electing the mayor, it's a 2-year term now, and if the councillors aren't happy with the mayor of the day, they then have that opportunity to choose a new mayor after 2 years.
Just finally, Ray, on September 14, why should people of the Clarence Valley vote for Ray Smith?
my continuing desire to serve the community and my experience. I think experience matters in local government. I certainly have that experience, but my passion, just to do the right thing by the people.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Damien.